Jonathan Aranda and Vidal Bruján. And then before we close things out, baseball trivia and Name That War.
Two guys that could potentially be, I don't know, bigger players, bigger role players than they were in 2022. And fun trivia and Name That War. So let's get started right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. Be sure you check us out on your favorite podcasting platform, including YouTube at Locked On Rays. You can follow us on social media, Twitter and Instagram, and send us an email or voice memo anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com. So let's get right into it. Let's look at the 2022 play of Jonathan Aranda, running through the good, the bad, his future with the team, and grade from this past season before we move on to Vidal Bruján.
Well, Jonathan, that's the guy that everybody wanted, including us, when he was killing it in AAA. Unfortunately, it didn't really go that as hot as we would have liked, but his slash line was a 192. 276, 321 slug. That's a 597 OPS. He had 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, a walk rate of 9.2, a K rate of 26.4, WRC plus of 74, and he was graded to have a negative 0.2 F WAR. So ultimately a positive, I think, is getting your toes wet with major league action, getting that call up and seeing what the differences are in everything. I mean, not only, the style of play and the pitchers and the scouting reports and the traveling and the hecticness of it all, but also the perks and knowing that, man, I get here, I can be here. I don't want to be in AAA anymore. I'm going to give it all my best to stay in the best part of baseball.
Yeah, again, getting his feet wet and getting that first taste of what he hopes is a lot more experience in the bigs and playing wherever he was asked: first base, second base, third base, left field. I think that, and we saw this throughout the minor leagues, and being a quick riser through the system and really a unassuming riser through the system. He was never really, he wasn't in the pain of Josh Lowe and Vidal Bruján and Taylor Walls and Wander Franco, but he has really kind of carved out a path as, maybe that one of those next guys in line. But he does have a good eye. He has shown the ability to lay off tough pitches, whether they're up in the zone or tailing away, breaking balls in. I mean, he can fight off pitches. Again, I know we didn't really see much from him in terms of the slash line and the amount that he played, but I think he has a good base to move forward, I would say. And I think that and maybe this is moving on too much to the future without going into what went wrong with him, but Jonathan Aranda, if I was the Rays and I was him, I would, this would be kind of my goal, is first base / DH, give us Casey Kotchman, James Loney numbers. That's the upside. That's the high point for Jonathan Aranda. I don't think he's going to be really anything more than that.
That would be terrific. I think I would sign for that any day of the week to get, James Loney or Casey Kotchman type numbers year in, year out. Good for him. That would be terrific. I think the ceiling is to be more than that. The hard hit percentage I really do like. It's at 45.5. So he's able to hit the ball hard. That's a good sign. Ultimately, the outside contact percentage, so how often he actually does make contact on balls that are not going to be strikes, it's a 70%. So that's good as well. He knows he can handle the bat, and he can handle the bat also because of what you said with the eye discipline there. The walk rate at 9.2%, that speaks highly of how he feels in the box. And it showed at times. I think it showed more in the beginning of his tenure in with the Rays than later on. He kind of I think he went on a 0 for 25 spell that was hard to watch, and obviously for him, and it was hard to live it.
Yeah. Is that all you have? So moving on to what went wrong with Aranda. You mentioned that slump, but anything about fielding and what where he probably shouldn't be playing in the bigs?
The defensive miscues were not good.
Yeah.
Good. Can those get better? 100%. Would you put green skittles that they are going to get better? I trust more. I'll tell you this right now. I think I trust more in his ability to hit more than I believe in his ability to get the glove work better. And hitting is the most difficult thing to do in all sports. So maybe that answers that question. But it wasn't a pretty sight to see him in second base and just botch plays that should not be botched at that level,
Yeah, he's definitely gotten a knock besides the defense, just the overall athleticism. And again, you don't necessarily have to be Usain Bolt or Bo Jackson to play professional baseball, but he is slow. He does have a frame that probably isn't going to age well, but he's there to hit. That's ultimately his goal, and that's ultimately, I think, the goal for the Rays is to hit for a good clip and draw your walks and do everything that you're expected to do from that standpoint. But that's you pretty much hit the nail on the head with that.
Well, and that's not the only thing. I was looking, if he's able to lift the ball just a little bit more. I mean, his launch angle is at 5.9 right now. If he's just able to improve that, and if you're a Rays fan, boy, have you heard this with Yandy Diaz time and time again. Oh, if he can just improve
Wander Franco too.
But if he's able to do that, I think we can see more of the success that he had in AAA translate to Major League Baseball, because in AAA, his line drive percentage was at 25.2. Real nice. MLB, he comes down, it's chopped by more than half. It's at 12.7. Or just by half. I know that's an easy thing to say while looking at the numbers. Oh, just improve your launch angle. But, they have the methodologies. They have the technology to kind of sit down with him and say, okay, how can we do this? Because if you're able to unlock that, he is going to be a terrific hitter. He has shown that in every step of the way that he is a good hitter. So how can they improve that? I don't know, but I think the launch angle would be kind of something I would look at, because the hard hit percentage is there. He's hitting the ball hard, but too much into the ground. It's at 55% ground ball rate. Like that's not good for a guy who is rated in the 16th percentile in sprint speed. Like if you're giving me 54.5% ground ball rate, you better be Jose Siri speed. But you're not.
Right.
You're Jonathan Aranda speed. So I need you, on the contrary of Jose Siri, of lifting the ball, I need Jonathan Aranda to be lifting the ball and not putting it so much in the ground.
Now moving on to his future, big question here. Is he part of this team's plans for 2023, or do you see him as a trade piece?
I see him as both. I see him if the opportunity arises where they can get a guy in a trade that they really like, and Jonathan Aranda is somebody that the other team wants, they'll be, of course, listening and able to trade him. But I think they also are not going to part with another, hopefully not a Cronenworth 2.0, where the guy just has the ability to rake. You just have to give him the ability to get at bats. So I think he's in that zone where, if they ask for him and it's a good deal, we're going to ship him off. We don't care. If they don't, if we don't hear something that we like for him, then we hope in spring training he shows us more of that AAA, AA hitting profile than the one he did in MLB.
If he's on the 40-man for the entirety of 2023, do you see him getting upwards of 350 at-bats in a Rays uniform?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so, because, we've talked about, the departure of Ji-Man Choi. You need a lefty bat. Could Jonathan Aranda be that lefty bat that takes care of first base? Maybe.
Possible.
Maybe.
If they really strike out on the free agent market,
Yeah.
that would be a thing there. So, all right, grade for Jonathan Aranda. I know it probably isn't really fair, but that's what we do on these things.
Yeah, 87 plate appearances. So I think this is just going to have to be a satisfactory or unsatisfactory type of grade. I'm going to give him an S. I'm going to give him satisfactory. 87 plate appearances. Good for you for getting on the show, getting your first home runs, couple ones. I'm okay with. I want to see more of Jonathan Aranda.
I'll give him an S as well. Yes, I am intrigued by the profile. All right, maybe what Jonathan Aranda needs is some Built Bars.
I think so, because he and everybody watching and listening to this, they've got to try this. I'm talking about Built Bars' new reimagined flavors. There's cookie dough topper, coconut brownie bar, and the coconut brownie topper. Okay, it's delicious. So first off, for anyone who hasn't tried Built Bars before, they're literally the best tasting protein bars ever built. Wink, wink. They're revolutionizing nutrition as we know it with 100% real chocolate, 17 grams of protein, and a shockingly low amount of sugar and calories. Guess what? Only 130 calories in Built Bars. That is ridiculous. So today, you have got to try them at built.com. So you go to built.com and you're going to use your our code, which is locked on 15. That's locked on 15. That gets you 15% off your order for Built Bars any time of the day. Okay, if it's a Monday morning and you feel like you need a pick me up, you can go to built.com, use locked on 15 and get a 15% discount. If it's a Friday evening and you've got no plans, but you want some chocolate, 100% real chocolate, you go to built.com and get 15% off your order by using locked on 15.
All right. Another young player that had some struggles at the show. Again, Vidal Bruján.
Yes, and the again is it fair to say again? I know he was in 2021, but yeah, it was not a kind year for Mr. Bruján. Slash line of 163, 228, 259. That's a 487 OPS, 3 home runs, 16 RBIs, 5 stolen bases, 4 caught stealings, a walk rate of 7.4, a K rate of 22.8. This is tough to read. WRC plus of 43 and an F4 of negative 0.5. So the positive about this, I think, is he seems to be really effective against lefties. I know the small sample size is there, but against lefties, in 57 plate appearances, he had a 220 average with a 716 OPS, and 2 of his 3 home runs were against lefties. So small sample size, I know, but it does seem like he's a little bit more comfortable hitting against lefties.
Yeah, there's not much more than that, at least from the 2022 season. And maybe that goes to the larger point of maybe he should ditch the switch hitting thing and just focus on the right side of the plate. Just throwing that out there, especially he's got enough to deal with between, just like Jonathan Aranda, of playing so many different positions at the big league level. Second base, right field, shortstop, third base, left field, center field, DH. Like, it's a lot to put on a player and a young player at that. Now, Vidal Bruján, we also know that he also has the speed as well, and the defensive versatility, like I mentioned. Yeah, but there's not really a lot of positives that we can add from his time with the Rays. I will say that it had to be challenging for him, given all the ups and downs that he had between the big league level and the AAA level of, 7 times that he was shuffled. It was, almost like a Lewis Head-like season for a rookie positional player. Now, I will say, hey, if I'm really scratching for positives here. He was the IL championship game MVP, so there's a little feather in his cap there. But yeah, that's all I got for positives from Vidal Bruján. Is we see the athletic gifts like we see from Jose Siri, but Siri's put it more together thus far than Vidal Bruján has. And what's more disappointing as we move into the bad And then what went wrong is that Vidal Bruján for years and years and years has been such a highly touted prospect, and he's going to be the next this, like, and it just has not translated for whatever reason at the show.
Sorry, I had to put myself on mute because once you said the center fielder's name, my HomePod went crazy and music started blaring. So
wow.
So this is the age of where we live.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. No, the negatives, man. I don't want to get too bogged down into this because he's a young player. He only had 162 at bat plate appearances.
Yeah.
So not enough to just, either. I know some people really got nasty with Bruján and social media, anti-social media is definitely not the place where you want reality, but I know a lot of people were definitely down on him. The hard hit percentage, you mentioned this, I think before it became a thing during the season. It was all bloopers. It was all soft contact. Like he wasn't even reaching the outfield grass. And when you look at the numbers, it's a 27.7% hard hit rate. Like I don't think I've ever seen it that low.
And maybe that's why his BABIP was only 193 for a guy with his speed and athleticism.
Definitely a factor. Definitely a factor. You got to hit the ball hard. Now, so that's definitely a thing. The barrel percentage, not good at all. Like doesn't even scratch 3%. So when he does make contact, he's not even hitting the barrel, which obviously will affect the hard hit percentage, the exit velo, the quality of the at bat is definitely not there. So definitely a negative. And we mentioned the speed. He is a fast guy. He's in the 83rd percentile for sprint speed. But when you have such poor base running results, when you're stealing 5 bases and getting caught 4 times, you're not picking the right places to run. His BSR, which is the base running category on Fangraphs, rates him negatively at -0.8. So that can happen. That if you're a fast guy, you need to be, if you want to be a productive, player and good output, you have that innate skill of being a fast guy, you got to learn how to run the bases. You just have to. You're doing yourself a favor by utilizing that skill. Just like Jose Sirius. Vidal did not put it together at all with the base running. He's fast, but -0.8, like that's some Francisco Mejia type stuff. Like you can't do that.
And also, I'll just add this. I'm going to retract the statement I made a couple years ago where I just was a little bit too in the moment where I suggested that Vidal Bruján and Taylor Walls would combine for a higher career WAR than Wander Franco when it's all said and done. That is not going to happen unless something devastatingly happens to Wander that prevents him from playing baseball for the entirety of his career. So, and that kind of gets into Vidal Bruján's future with the team. I don't know what he is or what he can or will provide going forward. Is he just speed, versatility, platoon, off the bench guy? Is he a guy that can live up to that prospect status? Are the Rays trying to actively move him? Like, if you're a fan right now, or I'll just ask you, Ulises, who would you rather have on this team in 2023, Vidal Bruján or Jonathan Aranda? I would lean towards, I would think the offensive upside is greater with Jonathan Aranda.
Yeah. And you need offense. You clearly need offense. This Vidal Bruján kind of situation reminds me of what people in the Mariners fan section is going through with Jared Kelenic.
Mm-hmm.
Highly touted prospect. Can't wait to see him. And then they just don't put it together, as fast as you would hope, for them to do it. I think I'm looking at Kelenic, 55 OPS plus. Like that's definitely not what they envisioned. The fans when they wanted him up, just like OPS plus is 43 for Vidal. That's not what we all hope. So I don't have an answer for you of what his role might be in 2023. I think it's kind of like the same thing with Jonathan Aranda, to be quite frank with you. If somebody comes calling, really hyped up about needing
Yeah.
a guy like Vidal, they're going to listen, and I don't think they're going to be like, no, we got to keep him. If it's the right offer, I think they'll let him go.
I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here, but it's very possible that Vidal Bruján is basically a quad A player, where if he can't handle, maybe he can handle everything that's thrown his way at AAA, but the pitchers in AAA are a lot different than the pitchers at the big league level. Maybe he can't handle that extra high velocity. Maybe he can't handle the off-speed pitches. The breaking balls are a little bit too much for him.
And hopefully that's not the case, but there are quad A guys out there. There are. And somebody has to be the quad A guys, which is, it's a very tough league to get into. There's only 700 spots, people. Like, it's a very difficult thing to be a major leaguer. So it really does upset me when, in anti-social media, people that usually just reply to Topkin, don't reply to Topkin, people. Stop that. That go like, oh, this guy sucks. It's like, obviously not, or he wouldn't be in the major leagues. Obviously not. You're wrong. User John1385795254. Stop it. You suck for having that username, by the way. No, I hope he's not a quad A player. You got to give him a chance, though. You can't just, I don't think you give up on Vidal for what he has shown so far. If he puts up another season like he did in 2022, then it might be time to just say, okay, didn't happen. Okay. Yeah. But I would give him as many at bats as you did in 2022, at least, to really know what's there. I would also try to, do a little something about that switch hitting. I wouldn't be opposed to just kind of saying, look, let's just make you successful. What makes you successful? Maybe you can only face lefties. Maybe you're just a righty type of guy. That's okay.
I agree. I like your SU, satisfactory, unsatisfactory. What are you giving Vidal Bruján?
This one sucks, but because I like Vidal, I really do. He's a very nice young man. Because of the expectation, I do have to give him an unsatisfactory. It wasn't what we hoped.
Yeah, no, like 430 OPS.
No,
there's a U in his last name. He's getting U for my grade, unsatisfactory as well. All right, we have baseball trivia, Name That War, coming up next, but it can happen so easily. You're out with a couple friends or workers, you're putting back a few drinks. A few becomes a few too many. It's time to go, and for a moment, you think of calling for a ride. No, you're a good driver. You live nearby. You can make it home okay. What are the odds you'll get pulled over? And even so, what's the worst that could happen? You lose your license, you lose your job, you total your car, you kill someone. It only takes one mistake to change your life or someone else's forever. So play it safe and plan ahead to get a ride. Drive sober or get pulled over. All right, Ulises, baseball trivia, Name That War on a Friday episode. What do you have in the realm of baseball trivia?
Well, guess who's back? Back again. Observational trivia is back.
No,
yes.
I'm protesting this.
This is the last time I'm doing it.
Thank God. After my, what I thought and what you acknowledged was a solid trivia question about doubles and guys who have had 600 plus doubles in their career. You're giving another one of these directional dugout questions. I cannot believe it.
Well, you know what? I felt like it would be too, kind of the OCD in me. I didn't want to just do AL East, AL Central, and then not do the AL West. I think that was kind of inappropriate. So this is the AL West edition of Observational Trivia, where I name a stadium in this division, and you tell me if the home dugout is on first base, on the first base side, or on the third base side. Kevin, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, so here we go. Angels Stadium. Where is the home dugout?
I am done Christmas treeing this, and I am going to go with one answer for all of these.
Okay.
I'm going to say first base side.
Damn it. Incorrect. It's on the
Okay.
third base side. Third base side. Just do what I do, which is like remember MLB clips and then where they go after a home run or something.
I can't. My brain does not work that way.
Okay.
I don't know if I watch enough clips of the AL West.
Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
yeah, that's the other thing too.
Fair enough. Number 2, T-Mobile Park, but of course it's not T-Mobile Park for us. It's Safeco Field, forever and ever. Where is their home dugout?
First base side.
You are correct. Very good. Very good. Yes, it is. Number 3, Minute Maid Park. Where is their home dugout?
I do want to go to Minute Maid Park at some point.
Yeah,
that
that'd
would
be
be an
cool.
experience. I've
Yeah.
driven past it. And we, a little orange juice action between Tropicana Field and Minute Maid Park. First base side.
You are correct. Very, very good. It is on the
Thank you.
first base side. 2 out of 3 so far. The Coliseum in Oakland. Maybe you remember the AL wildcard game where people were situated. Where is the home dugout in Oakland?
Soon to no longer be in Oakland, maybe the Las Vegas Athletics. I'm going to say, again, my protesting here, first base side.
Incorrect. It's on
Okay.
the third base side.
That is right, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And number 5, Globe Life Stadium, the Texas Rangers, where Jacob deGrom is going to be making a lot of money and not making a lot of starts, maybe. Where is their home dugout?
Globe Life. So it's Globe Life Stadium, not Globe Life Field or Globe Life Park.
I don't know. I just knew it was Globe Life.
I just know their old stadium was called Globe Life and their new stadium is called Globe Life. So I know Globe Life is putting down some shekels to have those naming rights.
Yes, 100%.
Which brings me, I don't think the next Rays stadium is going to be Tropicana whatever.
No.
I don't think it's going to be Tropicana Park or whatever.
They don't have that money anymore. No.
Publix Park, maybe. Yeah, people, the sugar's gotten a bad name, so people aren't drinking orange juice anymore. It's all keto. First base side.
You would be correct. Very good, Kevin. Very, very good. You got 3 out of 5. I think that would be a satisfactory grade.
Thank you.
All
right. Name that war. This guy was a first baseman. Left-handed first baseman. He also was known, besides being a very good ball player, that's a little hint there. He also would wear a helmet when he was playing defense. John Allrood. What is his career war?
Oh, that's a good one. When did he retire? Can you tell me the year?
The year he retired, I believe it was 2000, but let me 2005.
Okay. John Allrood. He was a solid player. He was a very, very solid player. I would give him a 15-year career. Smart man wearing a helmet also.
Yeah.
You don't know where the pitcher's going to throw that, to get the runner back.
Well, yeah, he had a brain aneurysm when he was 20 years old. So he wore it out of precaution.
Makes sense. 15-year career. I'm gonna give him 3 WAR for 10 years. That's 30. And then 5 years of just being a veteran guy at 1. That would give him a 35 WAR. But am I underselling him? I think that's a pretty damn great career if you're a 35 WAR player. So I'm gonna go with that. 35 for John Allrood.
John Allrood was a 2-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion, 3-time Gold Glove, won a batting title, played 17 years, 8 with the Blue Jays, 5 with the Mariners, 3 with the Mets, and a year apiece with the Yankees and Red Sox. So 17 years in total. 129 career OPS plus, 863 career OPS,
Oh, wow.
255 homers, 500 doubles,
Damn.
1,275 walks, 1,408 runs scored, 1,230 RBIs, a lot of sacrifice flies and intentional walks.
I undersold. Damn. I went under.
Oh,
didn't I?
398 on base percentage for his career, I might add.
Oh, that's so sexy. That's so
What's that?
sexy.
Yeah,
That's
it
so
is.
sexy. I definitely went under him. Damn.
You did. In fact, I mean, we always love this. 14% walk rate compared to 11% strikeout rate. He never struck out more than 100 times in his career. And a
Oh,
lot of them were like 50, he'd play 150 games and strike out like 60 times. It was
terrific.
to that level. His career WAR.
Is he 50?
His career WAR is basically the same as Evan Longoria's right now. 58.2 career WAR.
Wow. Did he get dropped off the ballot really quickly?
I would guess so.
Because it's 5 years and I've been following the Hall of Fame tracker since, pretty stewively, or whatever the word is, pretty intently since 2010, and he would have come up, and I guess he was a one and done for 58 WAR.
Yeah, he got 0.7% of the vote. He was eligible for the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2011. Again, which brings me back to my point. I don't think Evan Longoria is going to be a Hall of Famer. I mean, I know Longo's still got some bullets left in him, but
Yeah.
and I know different positions and so forth, but I feel like it's hard to make the Hall of Fame if you've only made 2 All-Stars or 3 All-Stars in your career.
It's a fair argument, and we do have to make an episode about that for sure.
Yes, we do. But John Olerud, very, very, very good. Actually, you could make the case a great career, not a very good career, but a great career for John Olerud. So there it is. Thank you for making the Locked On Rays podcast your very first listen every day. Now make your next listen the Locked On Sports Today podcast. That is also free and available on all platforms. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you next week.